Now, as tensions continue to simmer between Israel and West Bank, British conglomerate Unilever has now said that it has sold its Ben & Jerry's ice cream business in Israel to a local licensee for an undisclosed amount. The development comes nearly a year after the ice cream maker Ben & Jerry's triggered fury in Israel by saying it would stop selling its products in West Bank. Unilever, which is a British multinational consumer goods company, bought the American company Ben & Jerry's in the year 2000. Under the new agreement, Ben & Jerry's independent board has the sole right to make decisions about social issues, while Unilever is responsible for the financial and operational decisions. The British conglomerate's decision to sell off its business in Israel is a culmination of an 11-month pressure campaign over its plan to wind up its business in the West Bank. It was part of the international boycott and sanctions movement that seeks to isolate Israel over its treatment of the Palestinians. Supporters of the last year's decision saw it as a boost for the long-running international campaign against the West Bank occupation. And now the latest decision to sell its Ben & Jerry's business in Israel to a local partner can be seen as diplomatic escape by the British conglomerate from the brewing tensions. Under the new ownership, the ice cream will have slightly different branding with Hebrew and Arabic labels rather than English. It will be sold both in Israel and the West Bank region. Israel's foreign ministry has called the decision a huge victory and a win against alleged discrimination.
This is most certainly, I think, a sweet victory. It's a sweet victory for Israel, sweet victory for Ben & Jerry's Israeli firm, and really a victory for justice, all those who care about the rule of law. Ultimately, this is an unequivocal defeat for the global BDS movement, for the forces of hate, hypocrisy and intimidation. The campaign was being pushed by Ben & Jerry's Global. At the end of the day, the right decision was made. Hopefully now we can continue, Ben & Jerry's can continue serving the people of Israel, the Arab Israelis and the Palestinians with ice cream. This is a company whose business is ice cream, not promoting such extremist values as have been pushed by the Vermont-based company.
And for more on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen has sent us this report from Tel Aviv, Israel.
With parent company Unilever's announcement, it appears that the freeze on sales of Ben & Jerry's ice creams in the West Bank is now thawing. The proposed ban had never been popular in Israel, which questions why Ben & Jerry's was singling it out from all the countries in the world that have territorial disputes. In a statement, Unilever said it has never expressed any support for the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement and has no intention of changing that position. Interim Prime Minister Yair Lapid welcomed the decision and called it a victory for advancing partnership, conversation and an ongoing struggle against discrimination and hate. This is Jody Cohen for WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.